Time. So it's 6:30. We are now in the, Paul, we're ready?
We are ready.
All right, thank you. We are now in the 6:30 special guest. Gentlemen, name and address for the record. 4th of July, welcome.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm Scott Copeland. I'm the chairman of the 4th of July Town Celebration Committee, and I reside at 9 Allen Street.
I'm Mike Emmons. I'm the assistant chairman of the 4th of July Town Celebration Committee, and I reside at 32 Southwood Road.
Floor's yours. Go right ahead.
First of all, thank you very much for allowing us a couple minutes to address the council this evening. Just a bit of a history lesson. Back in 1985 was the first 4th of July town celebration of the town green, and the partnership with the town of Enfield and our committee has been in existence for 37 years. The mission of our committee and the purpose of this celebration has remained the same for these 37 years. Provide the residents of Enfield and the surrounding communities a 3-day 4th of July town celebration at no cost to attend. So no child will have to pay to play a game, ride a ride. That's been our motto, that's been our foundation for 37 years. The town of Enfield has been our title sponsor, providing public works, police, EMS, and fire services.
Sorry.
Oh,
Got to start over. Like I should know, right?
Forgot so quickly.
I thought you always had it on. All right. Do you want me to start over or just continue? Well, we'll just continue. So the town of Enfield has been the title sponsor providing public works, police, EMS, and fire services. The committee, as the organizer, is responsible for all fundraising, planning, operations, basically the running of the event. COVID-19 has impacted all community-based events such as ours. As a free-to-attend event, we rely on the generous support of our sponsors. And that amounts to a little over $400,000 in both cash and in-kind service sponsorships. But we also need large crowds to attend, purchase food, beverages, to participate in the road race, vendors to come in and sell their wares. When you add that all up, that's about another $130,000. So we're talking this 4th of July town celebration is well over a $500,000 event to run. So keeping that in mind, we made the decision actually back in the end of January, early February, that we could not hold an in-person celebration for the 2021 calendar year. With ongoing changes to restrictions regarding large capacity public events, we did not feel that it was socially responsible nor financially possible to yet again hold our event. This annual event is supported, as I said earlier, by both cash and in-kind service sponsors and tens of thousands of patrons who support our efforts with the purchases of food and beverages. But we felt very strongly that the Enfield community needs and deserves something big, beautiful, and bright. In 2019, the celebration was recognized by Reader's Digest as having the best fireworks in Connecticut. The committee is once again working with our fireworks vendor, Zambelli Fireworks, to celebrate not only our independence, but also all of our faithful healthcare workers, first responders, and frontline workers who have served us all throughout this very trying time in our country's history. Our even bigger and better and brighter fireworks display will be launched from the Higgins Ball Field at the Enfield Town Green on Saturday, July 3rd at 9:30. To make this all happen, we had, as a committee, we made a decision that we needed to make sure that we stayed financially neutral so that we had the reserves to come back next year and be able to plan the event that everyone's used to. So what we did is we launched a pretty aggressive fundraising campaign. And we hit 2 prongs. One, we contacted our major cash sponsors, those that have been cash sponsors throughout many years, and asked them if they could participate and at what level. Very happy to say, and I'm going to quickly read down the list because these are Enfield companies that want to see this happen. Our grand finale sponsors, the largest sponsors, Artioli Dodge and Win Stanley Enterprises. Our mid-finale, People's Bank and USA Hauling and Recycling. Our opening finale, Cox Communications, Kelly Fredette Lumber, Scott's Property Services, and Truly Hard Seltzer, the Sam Adams Boston Beer folks that come and sell their wares during a normal time. We also have friends, Hartford Distributors, the Pilch family, Four Corners Package Store, State Farm Insurance, Joanne Walk, Cynthia Mangini, Realtor, longtime sponsor, and Bellsite Development LLC, the neighbors that you've been working with on a lot of projects here on the town green. And well over so far $4,000 in individual and small business donations for our Friends of the Fourth campaign. So this is truly the community coming together to support the event. We say it's bigger, it's better, it's brighter. So we're actually investing, this display is going to be 25% bigger than what you're used to seeing on the green. And 2019, we actually increased the fireworks display. So this year, we're going to increase it even more. We actually took a pretty methodical process where we wanted to pick the best location for a fireworks display, understanding that with social distance requirements, where can you see it over a vast swath of our town of Enfield? We looked at Enfield High School, we looked at Fermi High School or the town annex, but our fireworks vendor and the committee, we all decided the town green, Higgins, based on its elevation, the understanding of the area and where people can park, gather, either be at their homes, in a parking lot of a mall, here on the town green, depending on how social distancing standards will allow us to how many people we can have here. So we'll be here. We've met, town's been great. Contacted right away our council liaisons and the town manager's office. We've met with the town, we've met with the Thompsonville Fire Department, we've met with Zambelli Fireworks. They've been here on site looking, helping to guide us. So it's all coming together to really have a great fireworks display because our community needs it. And I know, Mayor, a year ago, we were wondering what we could do in 2020 when we wanted to do something big and we couldn't. And we said we'd be back somehow, some way in 2021. I think the pandemic went on a little longer than we anticipated a year ago. But we feel we can do this fireworks display, we can do it responsibly, and the community will have a way to celebrate. And thank everyone who's done a yeoman's job over the last year plus, because that's what this fireworks display will be dedicated to. It will be to our healthcare workers, to our frontline service providers, to our emergency folks as well. So we wanted to let people know officially we'll have fireworks. If people want to donate and help the cause, fireworks shell costs about $100. When you look at the whole display, the number of shells and what the cost is, just the purchase, it costs about $100. So if people want to donate, they can send checks to the 4th of July Town Celebration Committee at P.O. Box 3203 in Enfield, or go online to our website, and we have a donate page at enfieldcelebration.org. And we take donations via PayPal or checks through the mail. And we'll continue to work with the town. We've got a meeting end of June. We'll plan out the public works aspects, the police, the fire, EMS, and make sure we deliver a safe fireworks display for everyone to come and enjoy. Any questions?
No, I think Scott covered everything. We're happy to be here. We're happy to do something this year. It left a huge hole in our hearts last year. I feel that it left a huge hole in the community as my favorite event, one I've been coming to since I was 8 years old. So I'm glad that we're able to do something this year, and I'm looking forward to everybody joining us.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Mangini, Councilor Sproul.
I just wanted to say thank you to the entire committee. I know I've been involved for a few years as liaison, as token roller and whatnot. But I don't think people thoroughly understand the dedication, the hours, the amount of work that these volunteers go through. And I really want to give a heartfelt thank you to all of your committee. The outstanding job, the sincere appreciation from the people of Enfield. Thank you so very much.
Great. Thank you, Cindy.
Scott, maybe I misheard, or maybe you misspoke. Did you say it cost $100 to put on the fireworks show?
No, it's $100 per shell.
Oh, per shell.
When you look at the program that they put together,
Yeah,
and the number
that's what
of
I thought.
shells,
Okay.
it's 100. I wish it was $100.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you, Scott and Mike. It's a great committee. It's a great committee to be on as well. I was at Rotary this weekend for the road race, and there was over 200 runners. And people are excited to be out. They came from Mass, Rhode Island. They were from all over. And I was telling them the fireworks that we are having, and they're excited to be out and want to go to them. Thank you.
Great. Great. Thank you, Joe.
Unless any questions or comments. Councilor Casati, Councilor O'Gara.
Thank you very much. This is what this. Thank you very much. This is what this town needs at this time. The fireworks. Really looking forward to it. I know that your committee puts in a lot of time and effort behind this, and looking forward to it. And the theme behind healthcare workers, frontline workers, doesn't get any better than that. So thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah.
Councilor Ungar.
Thank you for coming here tonight, and I just want to thank you for you safely canceling last year and trying to move ahead with the fireworks. And as a liaison to the committee, I was astounded by the amount of work that goes into planning this. I talk to people, and they just think you started a couple weeks before the 4th, and I'm like, no, they plan a whole year. And then they have recaps and all the meetings and all the hard work. So I commend the committee for doing that for the town. Thank you.
Thanks, Lori.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? I mean, the good news is hopefully we're going to have a Memorial Day parade this year, which is great, and then fireworks on July. So you mentioned, you gave the website, hope everyone paid attention, and you can certainly send that, and I think, Deb, and we'll add that. So 25% greater than 19, so if people start donating, how do we get to 50% greater than? I'm just doing the math. I'm just doing the math.
No, it's actually it's a
Mike,
great
you're never happy.
it's a great point, Mike. So there's a limitation of how big a display can be based on, and this is firework talk, but in the state of Connecticut, you have to maintain a 300-foot zone around the launch site. So you take where everything's set up,
Right.
They do a circle, and then no people can be within 300 feet. No buildings could be occupied within. So actually, the display at 25% more basically takes up all that usable space. But as a committee, what we're doing is any donations for fireworks that exceed what our expenses are this year are going to be parked in a firework fund so that we can continue to use them and continue to budget a larger display
Cool.
for future celebrations.
Cool.
Because there's some point in time where you're asking for money,
Right.
and you want to make sure it goes to. It may not be used this year, but it will be parked in a fireworks fund so that we can have a 25% larger display continuously
And
going
it's important for
forward.
people to understand, all right? So we're dealing what we're dealing, but we're already planning ahead, right?
Yep.
And that's how you pull out of stuff, right? Exactly like that.
Yep.
So people know, hey, it's going to be part of something this year. We're already looking to next year, right? And you just got to look forward, and hopefully things, take themselves, into the right direction. So
Right.
I appreciate you giving that. That's why I asked the question. I think for people to understand that, again, this is good stuff, right? I mean, again, we're getting a parade back. We're bringing back fireworks. So then hopefully, again, next year, we're already planning for 2022, which is, pretty cool. Right?
We actually, on our entertainment side, they're already planning for 2022, and because those contracts are signed, as Carl knows, they're signed way out. And
I'll sing for free.
You'll sing for free? Can you pack the green? Or will they leave the green?
Just joking. I mean, it's great news. I mean, I think it's great to continue. I mean, all the work they're doing at Higgins Park, it's just great to start getting back to talking about positive outlook in the future. So, I mean, appreciate you folks being, anything else from anyone? Yeah, this is great news. Again, we got the parade going, which is, can't wait to get back to that, and then fireworks. You know, I think it's going to be interesting. I think, you know, to your point, we're going to have people parked all over town, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
You know? So that's good problem to have again.
It is.
Thank you both for showing.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, no, before we go, do I have a motion to adjourn a special meeting? Deputy Mayor Suzak, seconded by Councilor Muller. All those in favor of adjourning? Aye. All those opposed? Sheila, 11 in favor, 0 against. We move right into, we are 4 minutes late, right into the Water Pollution Control Authority. Again, Monday, May 3rd, 2021. Council Chambers, the official meeting of the Water Pollution Control Authority. Sheila, roll call, please.
Councilor Bosco. Here. Councilor Sakala.
Here.
Councilor Crisati.
Here.
Councilor Hemler.
Here.
Mayor Ludwig.
Here.
Councilor Mangini.
Here.
Councilor Muller.
Here.
Councilor Riley.
Here.
Councilor Surprise.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Suzak.
Here.
Councilor Ungary.
Here.
11 members present, none absent.
Thank you, Sheila. We move approval of the minutes of the special meeting, June 1st, 2020. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to
By
approve.
Councilor Mangini, seconded by Councilor Ungary. Is there any deletions, corrections, additions to the meeting? Hearing none, by a show of hands, all those in favor? Opposed, abstentions? 10 in favor, 1 abstention. Sheila, Councilor Crisati, abstention. Do I have a motion to approve special meeting June 15, 2020?
So moved.
By Councilor
Second.
Muller, seconded by Councilor Riley. All those in favor? Commissioner Muller, Commissioner Riley. All those in favor, any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, by show of hands, all those in favor? Opposed, abstentions? 10 in favor, Sheila, 1 abstention, same as last. We have no old business. We have no new business. We have items for discussion. Discussion resolution to set date for public hearing on water pollution control rates for fiscal year 2022. Whereas the Water Pollution Control Authority values the opinions and comments of its constituents. Whereas in accordance with Section 86-52F, the Enfield Water Pollution Control Authority must hold a public hearing to propose sewer service fees and rates for the upcoming fiscal year. Now therefore be it resolved, the Enfield Water Pollution Control Authority shall conduct a public hearing in the Town Council Chambers at Town Hall, 820 Enfield Street, Monday, June 7, 2021, at 6:45 on the proposed sewer service fees and rates for fiscal year 21-22, submitted by the Town Manager's Office on April 26, 2021.
So moved.
By Commissioner, Deputy Mayor Suzak and Commissioner Mangini, second by Mangini. Commissioner. It's been, any question, Chris, pretty self-explanatory. This will be our second part of our budget where we pass the fees for the water pollution control, the sewer fee.
That's correct. It's important to note, as with the municipal taxes, there will be no rate increase for water pollution control.
From any commissioner? Any questions? Again, it'll be June 7th. Hearing none, roll call, please, Sheila.
Commissioner Bosco. Commissioner Sakala.
4.
Commissioner Crisati.
4.
Commissioner Hemler.
4.
Commissioner Ludwig.
4.
Commissioner Mangini.
4.
Commissioner Miller.
4.
Commissioner Riley.
4.
Commissioner Surprise.
4.
Commissioner Suzak.
4.
Commissioner Ungary.
4.
That's 11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. There is no miscellaneous items, Chris, correct? We have nothing for miscellaneous. Do I have a motion to adjourn the Water Pollution Control Authority? By Councilor Muller, seconded by Commissioner Muller, seconded by Commissioner Riley. All those in favor? Opposed, abstention? We have 11 in favor, 0 against. The Water Pollution Control meeting is adjourned, and you have 7 minutes of recess. We'll just start the regular meeting at 7 o'clock. So you can. Council, Monday, May 3rd, 2021. It is 7 p.m. And welcome, everyone. And prayer, Deputy Mayor Suzak. All rise, please.
Yesterday, I was thinking about, what's happened this whole past year, and the pandemic has shown us that as a people and a society, we need to be resilient. So I looked up, what do other people feel about resilience? What does resilience mean? And I found this quote by Maya Angelou, and it says, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." And I think with those words that I think we as a society and as people, we've all gone through a lot, and I'd like to have us come out a little bit better than we are. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Suzak.
Here.
Counselor Ungary.
Here.
Counselor Bosco.
Here.
Counselor Sakala.
Here.
Counselor Crisati.
Here.
Counselor Himmler.
Here.
Mayor Ludwig.
Here.
Counselor Mangini.
Here.
Counselor Muller.
Here.
Counselor Riley.
Here.
Counselor Sukroza.
Here.
11 members present, none absent.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm moving to item 4, the fire evacuation. Announcement: in case of fire, we do have exits at the back of the chambers. Please exit orderly left and right. We also have exit doors to my left, to some members' right. We go out those doors, then go out the first doors in the hall, down the steps, and out into the parking lot in case of a fire. Moving on to item 5, minutes of the preceding meetings. Do I have a motion to approve the special meeting April 19, 2021? Motion made by
Second.
Councilor Muller, seconded by Deputy Mayor Suzak. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none by show of hands, all those in favor? Opposed? Abstention? 11 in favor. Sheila, 0 against. Is there a motion to approve the regular meeting of April 19, 2021?
Second.
Moved by Councilor Riley, seconded by Councilor Mangini. Is there any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none by show of hands, all those in favor? Opposed? Abstention? 11 in favor, 0 against. Sheila, we have item 6, special guest. Again, we have none. Item 7, public communications petitions. Would anyone like to speak for the public, for the council at this time? Anyone like to speak for the council at this time? Hearing none, I declare public communications closed. We move on to item 8, councilor communications. Is there any councilor like to speak? Councilor Himmler, then Deputy Mayor Suzak.
Just real quick, my mother had moved away back in the 90s, and she's back in Connecticut. She's in Enfield. So in case you're watching, Mom, hi.
Deputy Mayor Suzak.
I actually had communications today with Carol Hall on the Rails to Trails. And on Monday, the 24th of May, at Enfield High School at 6:30, Carol will be having a community conversation on the Rails to Trails. I think this is a significant thing that, we need to hear from the people of Enfield. What do they want, and how do we achieve what they would like to have in our community? Thank you. It's at 6:30, Monday, the 24th, at Enfield High School.
Thank you. Councilor Riley, I know you'll come back, right? Councilor Riley.
I just wanted to extend my thanks to all the teachers. This is Teacher Appreciation Week, so I just wanted to give a big shout out to our teachers. And I also wanted to say that also on Monday, May 24th, I've said it before, it's our first readers, we're going to have our ceremony. It's going to be drive-through at Esnuntuck. The invitations have already been sent out. Our SVPs are in, and they are due Wednesday this week. So I'm currently writing up certificates. Some of us in the group are going to get together and stuff all the bags. And we ask that for pedestrian safety, safety on the road, that only one car full of people with their first reader comes, just to make sure that traffic does not back up too far on 190 there. But we are super excited. We've gotten a lot of responses already. My hand's going to cramp up all week, I can tell. But I just wanted to say congratulations to all the first readers. And if you cannot make it, please just still RSVP so that I can drive and drop off a bag at your house. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else have any? Councilor Muller.
I'd like to announce that tickets are on sale for ERC Toast of the Town on Friday, June 4th at 6:30 at Twin Hills Country Club in Longmeadow, Mass. Tickets are on sale at erfcinc.org. I also want to mention this weekend was the Rotary Race. We had a great time at the Annex. There was over 200 racers, and everyone was excited to be out. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Suzak.
I'm going to make a motion to suspend the rules and move items A1, A2, B1 through B3, E, F, G, H, I, J, and K to miscellaneous and proceed to vote.
Second.
Motion made by Deputy Mayor Suzak, seconded by Councilor Muller. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Hearing by show of hands, all those in favor? Opposed, abstention, motion passes. Anyone else have any councilor communications? Councilor Crisati?
Excuse me again. This week, the Enfield Together Coalition met, and Karen Prescott with the Enfield Youth Services had a PSA project with the Enfield High School of PE and the health teachers, and approximately 200 submissions for the PSA contest, which focused on vaping prevention and ways vaping adversely affects one's individual health. So I thought that was pretty good to get, over 200 high school kids taking place in this contest for the public safety. So hats off to Karen Prescott and a job well done on that. A vape-free schools and vape-free community, it was their focus. Also, the April focus for the Enfield Together Coalition is on alcohol. ID scanners were passed out to 13 package stores, and there's a survey and an outreach program, and we're going to be getting results to see how these ID scanners were holding out at the respective package stores to help with the underage drinking in town. May 6th is a National Day of Prayer, and then at noon on the town green, come out and support your for prayer. Tracy Jarvis from New Day Church, the pastor there, will be holding that program. And also, the Police Explorers on June 5th are going to be having an pig roast from 12 to 8 at the Moose Lodge on South Road. Tickets are $20. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councilor Ungar?
Through the Commission on Aging, I just wanted to report that the senior minor home repair is starting to open up, and they actually today started making and taking appointments, and they'll probably go out to do the visitation starting June 1st.
Anyone else? Hearing none, declare council communication closed. Item 9, town manager report.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. I would start by saying that we have been forwarding to the Deputy Commissioner Garrett Ucolito all of the inquiries and comments and questions in regard to the freight line. We still have him scheduled. He had agreed to come the first meeting in June as a special guest between 6 and 7. We have gotten quite a good response and selection of both opinions and questions. We forwarded those on to him today, and we will be forwarding them on to him as we receive them, because there's been a multitude, so I don't want to swamp him with them a couple days before, and he wouldn't have an opportunity to prepare. Number 2, I'd like to remind folks that on May 17th, our next meeting as a special guest at 6 o'clock again, between 6 and 7 p.m., we will be honored to have the Colonel of the Department of Environmental Protection, who is going to give us an update on the Scannick River and his department's preparations for this coming season. So I welcome people to tune in to hear that. And I would also say, to remind folks, it's really, time is going so quickly. The first weekend in June, June 6th, will be the grand reopening of our Enfield Farmers Market. We have a large number of vendors that are all returning, so that'll be Sunday, June 6th. And we also will have live entertainment again for that opening, so please come down and join us. Because of the popular demand, we started a full almost 6 weeks earlier than we did last season, so that's very gratifying. It's a great time for everybody. I will tell you that Town Hall did reopen today. We had indicated that we would. Town Hall is now open, and you needn't make an appointment, and most all other town offices. Senior Center is being phased in with some other programs, but everything is pretty much open for business, and that's quite a relief. We're looking forward to seeing all of our residents being able to come in without an appointment. The very, very exciting news I just want to alert you to was late breaking. I sent the email. I received it late this afternoon. I received a call from our Congressman Joe Courtney. Very interesting and exciting that we really are moving full speed ahead on this train station. As you well know, with his efforts in the town council voting to make a contribution of almost $700,000, we have in the till right now for the platform almost $4 million available. They have reinstituted in Congress a new program. It's really akin to the old earmarks program. They call it member designated projects. And basically, each congressman is able to submit for infrastructure programs and capital improvement in his district $20 million of requests, and they prioritize them and list them by community. And as you well know, the congressional district, as large as Congressman Courtney says, many towns vying for that money. Congressman Courtney, to show his commitment, which has continued, he is heralding the effort of the train station. He, in conjunction with the commissioner of DOT, submitted out of that $20 million, 20%, his number one request was $4 million for the Enfield platform project, specifically the raising of the bridge on Main Street to accommodate the truck traffic and to make that part of the program. So there's no 100% guarantee, but it shows the commitment of the congressman that he made it the number one ask. There is a letter included in his request of support from the commissioner himself, Joe Giuletti, of the DOT of Connecticut, indicating how important the project is, and also, most importantly, indicating that the rest of the train station for Enfield will be included in this year's fiscal budget under the Surface Transportation Improvement Program. So that's the first news we've had of that. So, as you know, DOT came a few weeks ago. They have fully funded the engineering and design. So we're well off and on our way. And that specific request the congressman made, he submitted last Friday on our behalf. So that's very, very exciting news. And with that, I am available for any questions.
The farmers market, will that be held at the Enfield Mall, or will it be outside on the green? And is it rain or shine?
We've had it rain or shine through the summer, and it will be back to the town hall location for the summer. And then we'll gauge the interest to see whether or not we go indoors in the fall again at the Enfield Square. But it will be live and in person with music at the Enfield Town Green, Sunday, June 6th from 10 to 2 p.m.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for the town manager? Hearing none. Chris, you're off the hook.
Thank you.
Moving to item 10, town attorney. Exactly. Town attorney report. Attorney Talberg.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Just a quick update for you about the governor's executive orders that are COVID-related. Between March 12, 2020 and last Friday, April 30, 2021, Governor Lamont issued more than 100 executive orders. And if you've been following them, some range from a few pages to a dozen pages. They fill a 3-ring binder in our town attorney's office that's 3 inches thick at least. But 2 weeks ago, the night of our last council meeting, April 19, Governor Lamont issued an executive order in which he noted that at this point, many of those orders, representing more than 60% of those that were then currently in effect, would be allowed to expire. And so that in fact happened with little fanfare 2 weeks ago, and the remaining executive orders were extended until May 20. That's coming up quick, in 17 days. And so that, to me, as a lawyer, it signals that we've really turned a corner when you see that 60% of the executive orders have expired. And those that remain are only slated to be in effect for another 17 days. We're watching closely legislation that may take over some of that turf that was governed by the executive orders. In particular, there's a 49-page bill entitled An Act Concerning Access to Local Government and the Modernization of Local Government Operations that would govern how these remote type and hybrid type meetings have been taking place and make that law, what has been executive order for the past year. That's, I think it was reported favorably out of committee, but it's not yet finalized or signed off on by the governor. So we'll keep an eye on these. It's, I think, a very positive sign in terms of our recovery and normalization from a legal perspective, and I'll have a further report for you by May 20, if not sooner.
Thank you.
That's
Any
all.
questions for the town attorney? Hearing none, move on to item 11, report of special committees. Any report of any special committees? Councilor Hemler?
The Enfield Arts Commission has approved some mini grants, all fun activities for kids. So I just want to let you guys know. So I was very happy about that. The veterans are still busy preparing for the Memorial Day Parade, and I hope everybody goes out to it. And Councilor Crisati stole my thunder. National Day of Prayer this Thursday. I hope everybody can come noon at the Green. It'll be a good time. Thank you.
Councilor Riley?
Yeah, I am on the planning and conservation and development team that we have going on. We've met a few times. We had a community discussion last week that I was unable to attend, but the meetings that we've had so far have been eye-opening with, looking at the responses from the community that submitted them. So I would say, if the community watches out on our website, on the town website, under planning and community development, there may be future surveys to go to gauge, what the community wants, where we want to go as a community, what our needs are, what our wants are. But I think we've had some very productive discussions, and I look forward to more.
Anyone else? Hearing none, move on to item 12, old business. Item A remains on the table. Item 13, new business. Item A, consent agenda. There is none. Item B, appointment town council appointed. There are none. Item C, appointments town manager. Council approved. There are none. Item D, P&Z commission appointed. Council approved. Again, there are none. Move to the top of page 2. Items for discussion. The consent agenda, A, 1, and 2 have been moved to miscellaneous. B, 1, 2, and 3 have been moved to miscellaneous. Item C, appointments town manager appointed, council approved, there are none. Item D, appointments P&Z commission appointed, council approved, there are none. E, F, G, H, I, J, and K all have been moved to miscellaneous. And we move to item 15, miscellaneous. We have the consent agenda. And Chris, real quick before are we gonna open up 2, or we're still gonna vote both just as a consent?
They're both on consent. We need, it's a yearly matter for number 1, but we were going to remove 2. If there were questions, the chief of police has stayed to answer any questions in regard to that. I would just make comment, Mayor, and I meant to in my open remarks, if you look at the new agenda, we call it Agenda Skinny, Agenda Light. It will save paper, but also be less confusing. Members of the council over time have asked for this. Our new town clerk indicated her suggestion that we skinny this down, and also we ran it by the town attorney to make sure it comported with our rules and procedures. And basically what we did is we took out all of the open appointments under all the various categories because it was confusing. They were in different places, interspersed in the budget. It was tough to follow. So we will simply now, and we've put them on 1, 2, or 3 page list, which will be provided to the council, each agenda, so you can quickly reference what openings there are if people ask you, and then as appointments are made, we will add them to the agenda. So I like this streamlined, skinny version, and I thank for everybody's input in helping to make it and implement it for this meeting. And with that, the chief of police.
The consent agenda is an annual grant that so that'll be, we're going to vote by hands after chief is done. And item 2 is a transfer of funds for $3750. Chief, go right ahead.
Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. The item before you allows full funding for the use of a service that we refer to as the Blue Line Trailer. Effectively, what this is a highly interactive video tool where officers use their firearms in real time to interact in different scenarios in an effort to improve upon their decision and judgment within firearms encounters. In the old days, we called these shoot, don't shoot scenarios. In an effort at fiscal prudence, this had only been funded within the PD budget at 50%, recognizing that that was my patrol contingent. In discussions with the town manager, we thought it prudent to allow you to consider whether or not that's something that should be funded more robustly in the current era.
Any questions for the chief? And my only comment before we vote is that I recommend, if you can, and it's open to all counselors, that you go over there and it's eye-opening, the experience. I've done it myself along with Deputy Mayor Suzak, and I recommend that each counselor, if they're able to participate, again, safely, but based on what the chief will allow you to do. But again, it is eye-opening and it's worthwhile.
I would love to have anyone that wished to attend.
Yep. Councilor Mangini.
Chief, how do we go about getting the invitation to attend?
I can let you know the dates that we've selected. I can push them out through the town manager, including the times. And if there are any windows in there that appeal to you, we'd be happy to host you.
That would be good. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Hearing none, now we're going to, so Sheila, we're voting on a consent item A1 and A2. We're doing it together. Right, Sheila? We don't have to separate them. It's a consent agenda. So by a show of hands, all those in favor of A1 and A2? Those opposed, any abstentions? Sheila, 11 in favor, 0 against. The motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Chief.
We move on
Thank
to
you, Counselor.
item B1 in miscellaneous, the Prison Liaison Committee. The term of office of Kenneth Egger is expired. This is a reappointment. Do I have a motion? Do I have a nominee, please? Councilor Mangini, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate for reappointment Kenny Edgar.
Motion made.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Crissati. Do I have a motion to close by Deputy Mayor Suzak? Close nominations. Seconded by Councilor Sferrazzo. All those in favor of closing nominations by show of hands? Opposed, abstentions, 11 in favor, 0 against of closing nominations. Sheila, I'm sorry, any discussion on the main motion? Hear none, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Suzak,
Kenneth Edgar.
Counselor Ungary,
4.
Counselor Bosco,
4.
Counselor Sakala,
Ken Edgar.
Counselor Crissati,
4.
Counselor Hemler,
4.
Mayor Ludwig,
4.
Counselor Mangini,
Kenneth Edgar.
Counselor Muller,
4.
Counselor Riley,
4.
Counselor Sefraza,
4.
11 in favor, none against, no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. Item B1 under miscellaneous, Prison Liaison Committee. The term of Nancy Harvey is expired. Do we have it? This will be a reappointment. Do I have a nominee, please? Deputy Mayor Suzak.
Nominate Nancy Harvey.
Motion made by Deputy Mayor Suzak, seconded by Councilor Muller. Do I have a motion to close nominations? Deputy Mayor Suzak, seconded by Councilor Muller. All those in favor of closing nominations by show of hands? Opposed, abstentions, 11 in favor and 0 against closing nominations. Any discussion on the main motion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Suzak,
Nancy Harvey.
Counselor Ungary,
4.
Counselor Bosco,
4.
Counselor Sakala,
4.
Counselor Crissati,
4.
Counselor Hemler,
4.
Mayor Ludwig,
4.
Counselor Mangini,
Nancy Harvey.
Counselor Muller,
4.
Counselor Riley,
4.
Counselor Sefraza,
4.
11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. Again, B3 under miscellaneous is an appointment for Library Board of Trustees. The term of Georgina Tippo is expired, and do I have a nomination?
Georgina Tippo.
Motion made. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Suzak. Do I have a motion to close nominations? By Councilor Riley, seconded by Deputy Mayor Suzak. All those in favor of closing nominations by show of hands? Opposed, abstentions, 11 in favor, 0 against closing nominations. Is there any discussion on the main motion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Suzak,
Georgianne Tippo.
Counselor Ungary.
4.
Counselor Bosco.
4.
Counselor Sakala.
Georgiana Tipo.
Counselor Crisati.
4.
Counselor Hemler.
4.
Mayor Ludwig.
4.
Counselor Mangini.
Georgiana Tipo.
Counselor Muller.
4.
Counselor Riley.
4.
Counselor Safraza.
4.
11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. We move on to item E under miscellaneous. Request for transfer of funds for the town attorney legal account of $60,000. Resolve that in accordance with Chapter 6, Section 8F of the Town Charter, the following transfer is hereby made. To the town attorney legal fund of $60,000 from the general fund contingency of $60,000. Certified that the above funds are available as of April 26, 2021 by our Director of Finance, John Wilcox. Approved by the town manager, Chris Bromson.
So moved.
By Councilor Muller.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Mangini. Chris, I assume this will go to you?
This is a transfer to cover outside legal expenses for litigation that has been previously discussed with the council. It is for legal services that are not covered by our insurance at this juncture.
Any questions for the town manager? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Suzak.
4.
Counselor Ungary.
4.
Counselor Bosco.
4.
Counselor Sakala.
4.
Counselor Crisati.
4.
Counselor Hemler.
4.
Mayor Ludwig.
4.
Counselor Mangini.
4.
Counselor Muller.
4.
Counselor Riley.
4.
Counselor Safraza.
4.
11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. Again, we're under miscellaneous. Item F, discussion resolution, request for transfer of funds to CIP Town Hall Video Conference Room of $18,598.03. Resolve that in accordance with Chapter 6, Section 8F of the Town Charter, the following transfer is hereby made. To capital and non-reoccur fund of Town Hall Video Conference Construction Services, $18,598.03. From the capital non-reoccurring fund of Senior Center Renovation and Construction Services of $18,598.03. Certified that the above funds is available as of April 26, 2021 by Director of Finance John Wilcox and approved by our town manager Chris Bromson.
So moved.
By Councilor Muller.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Riley. Chris, yep.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. This is part of the previously approved town building consolidation plan. I'm very happy to report that it is on schedule and on budget. And most recently last week, in the downstairs of Town Hall, the offices of the tax assessor and of all of the tax people have moved next door to the Enfield Express. So we posted that as well. So I guess this is a good opportunity to know people paying their tax bills and have any questions of the assessor. It will be at 800 Enfield Street moving forward. But as part of that space being vacated, it is to be made into a basically state-of-the-art media center, which will benefit all of the town departments, all of the different also outside town agencies, boards, and commissions to be able to access this on ground level floor with handicap access, including the council. And for the specific, there was a shortage in what they had anticipated for the improvements in the IT area. This will be covered by savings in other parts of the project, specifically at the senior center. But Kasha Perciello will inform you exactly what this transfer is going to pay for. Kasha?
Good evening, everyone. So as Chris said, the move of the transportation division to the senior center came in under budget. So this funding will be used to upgrade the conference room downstairs in the town hall. And those upgrades consist of doing acoustic ceiling clouds that serve as HVAC inlets and outlet points. And also there will be speakers, microphones, plus they will be adding accent lighting with this funding.
Through the reconstruction project, we're saving in one area and we're using it for where we thought we had a shortage. So basically we're just, again, almost like a, even Steven kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Initially we thought there'd be more work needed to be done at the senior center for the transportation division, but after doing our stakeholder walkthroughs and actually getting the transportation manager there, we realized, we could completely reconfigure how we were thinking the space, which ended up in a large savings.
Good, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'll just say this is exciting because this is going to be used by internal employees, boards and commissions of the town, and also outside groups. As you know, we always have a deficit for meeting areas and meeting space, and this is really going to just be a great asset for the community and the town to be located centrally in the town hall. As I say, handicapped access, and it's going to be quite, I think, a great resource for everyone in the town. It's been lacking, and it was able to be done for a very modest price. So I'm looking forward to the opening of this one as part of the consolidation plan, hopefully by September.
Comments. Thank you, Kasha. Thank you, Chris. Roll call, please, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Souza,
4.
Councilor Ungary,
4.
Councilor Bosco. Councilor Bosco.
4.
Councilor Sakala.
4.
Councilor Crisati.
4.
Councilor Hemler.
4.
Mayor Ludwig.
4.
Councilor Mangini.
4.
Councilor Muller.
4.
Councilor Riley.
4.
Councilor Safraza.
4.
That's 11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. We move on to item G under miscellaneous. Discussion resolution adopting a job description for a project engineer intern at the Department of Public Works. Resolved that in accordance with Chapter 7, Section 2 of the Town Charter, the Enfield Town Council does hereby adopt the job description for project engineer intern at the Department of Public Works, submitted on April 22nd, 2021 by Donald Nudes, our Director of Public Works.
So moved.
By Councilor Muller. Second by Deputy Mayor Suzak. Go ahead. I assume Steve's here.
Yep, Mr. Mayor, before I turn this over to our capable and enthusiastic HR director, I just would like to let you know, as Donald Nunes has said at, I think, the last meeting, they have over 60 some odd projects underway and in the pipeline. They really probably, except holding their budget at zero this year, would have qualified for an additional employee, probably under the auspices of a project manager. But they're very realistic. They're hoping that this intern will help them with a lot of the projects that they've undertaken, so that they were able to come in with that, no increase in the budget. So we're being very careful and fiscally responsible. We'll re-look at that next year. Part of the Novak report did envision that they would have a reorg and have probably an additional person, but we didn't implement that this year. And I just like to acknowledge all of their hard work in building and grounds, all of the folks involved in building consolidation, and all the rest of Public Works who are doing a terrific job, especially now also, as you know, we're not only doing the consolidation, but the yearly opening of all of the fields across the town, all of the facilities that are now reopening, that outside groups are going to be using. So I'd like to thank them all for their hard work. And with that, I give you Steve Belinda.
Steve Belinda, Director of Human Resources for the town of Enfield, Connecticut. So when Donald approached me a little while back, as you heard the town manager say, they are inundated with a lot of projects and he could use a little help. And it was, I think, innovative on Donald's part to say if we can hire a project engineer intern, someone that is eager to apply his or her skills, maybe going for a master's degree or something. We couldn't justify a full-time position year-round, but maybe for the season, it warranted it. So I explained to him that I can't just hire someone without having the town council bless a job description, because ultimately it's you guys that determine the skill set and qualifications of how we're going to spend taxpayer dollars. And he said, no problem. Let's come up with a job description with a salary range. Let's get the town council to bless it. And I think it's a win-win situation. We'll get a new eager student that's willing to work for the town, gain some valuable experience that he can apply or she can apply later on in their career. And we can help reduce the bottleneck of projects that Donald's dealing with at the moment. So we vetted it, looks good, and it's up to you guys now to approve.
Sir, any questions or comments for Steve or Chris? My only comment, Steve, is I hope we can continue to do this. I think it's important to have internships if we can do them. They're very, especially for the young people who've been through a lot. I mean, people forget the college kids have been through just as much as the kids who went to high school and is younger. So I think it's important, and hopefully this is something we can build upon, where we're looking to actually have, I think it's a great idea, and maybe we can start our own little pipeline of again, even if they don't work for the town, eventually if they get the skills, they can work for, I know a lot of our industries in town are always looking for young people to be able to train them in some of the, the skills that are needed in some of the manufacturing jobs that are out there. So I think it's a great idea, and I hope we continue to build upon this.
Okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call, please, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Suzak.
4.
Councilor Ungary.
4.
Councilor Bosco.
4.
Councilor Sakala.
4.
Councilor Crisati.
4.
Councilor Hemler.
4.
Mayor Ludwig.
4.
Councilman Genie.
4.
Councilor Muller.
4.
Councilor Riley.
4.
Councilor Safraza.
4.
It's 11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. Item H under miscellaneous. Thank you, Steve. Discussion resolution adopting the new grants and performance manager job description. Resolved in accordance with Chapter 7, Section 2 of the Town Charter, the Enfield Town Council does hereby adopt the revised. Oh,
I think you skipped H and went to I.
Social services?
see, I'm way ahead of the game here.
Steve is available and Cindy for both of these, but again, go ahead. I'll let you proceed.
Yeah,
Just wanted to
sorry
make
about
sure
that,
you're in the right
Steve.
order.
Yes.
No, hold on, Steve. I got to actually read the resolution. Sorry about
Okay.
that.
Yep.
All right, unless I get the. Aha! I found it. Item H, discussion resolution adopting the adult and community social services worker job description. Resolved in accordance with Chapter 7, Section 2 of the Town Charter, the Enfield Town Council does hereby adopt the revised job description for adult and community social services worker, submitted on April 22nd, 2021 by Steve Belinda, our Human Resource Director.
So moved.
By Councilor Mother, seconded by Deputy Mayor Suzak. I got the right job description, Steve. Welcome again, sir.
Thank you. So every once in a while, I will come to you guys because we need to tweak a job description, an existing job description. In this case, the reason why we need to amend this is because there was recent state law, I think a couple years ago, that defined how we can use the word social worker. And once they did that, we were limited in our job description from pursuing very attractable candidates who were pursuing this position. And it just came to fruition recently when Cindy Guerreri was doing some interviews, and we had some very good qualified candidates that we could not pursue because of the limitations of the job description. So I give credit to Cindy for going back to the drawing board, striking out language that we needed, and making it so it's amenable now to get the best fit for our town without having to violate the state law. And Cindy's able to elaborate further if she so inclined.
Cindy, just name and title, and you have the floor, and we'll open up the questions. Go right ahead.
Hi. Good evening. Cindy Guerreri, Director of Social Services for the Town of Enfield. As Steve said, this really was a twofold process to make sure that we are obviously in line and following legislation that requires a clinical social worker to be identified as such. And that's a great credential to have. At the same time, we wanted to make sure that we didn't limit our pool of candidates to only that credential. So this serves as a way to make sure we're following legislation and getting the best candidates that we can.
No, I think they covered it. As you know, Mayor, we continually look and upgrade job descriptions as circumstances and the market changes. So I think this is appropriate, and I recommend it.
So Cindy, just maybe a brief description of what this individual main responsibilities will be doing.
Well, this is a longstanding social worker position that's been with the department for many years. It's just that we really needed to update it. And this is the one where we were going to be outposting to our police department and making sure that we have the right fit there.
Or for people to understand that that's part of this job description, part of some of the things we're doing. So I appreciate you saying that. Again, we're trying to implement some of that within how we police our community. Mm-hmm. Any other questions for Cindy or Steve? Anyone? Hearing none, roll call, please. Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Suzak.
4.
Councilor Ungary.
4.
Councilor Bosco.
4.
Councilor Sakala.
4.
Councilor Crisati.
4.
Councilor Hemler.
4.
Mayor Ludwig.
4.
Councilman Genie.
4.
Councilor Muller.
4.
Councilor Riley.
4.
Councilor Safraza.
4.
11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. We move on to item I. Again, I apologize for jumping the agenda. Discussion resolution adopting the new grants and performance manager job description. Resolved that in accordance with Chapter 7, Section 2 of the Town Charter, the Enfield Town Council does hereby adopt the new job description for grants and performance manager, submitted on April 22nd, 2021 by Steve Belinda, our Human Resource Director.
So moved.
By Councilor Muller. Second by Deputy Mayor Suzak. Steve, third time's the charm. Welcome.
Thank you. So you guys had a preview of this when you guys adopted this position in the recent Town of Enfield budget. When I met with Cindy recently, my head was spinning of how much work is grant related to the position that she's occupying, in addition to all the other responsibilities that she has to undertake. So I think there's a strong argument that this position would pay itself off, having someone that's dedicated to constantly monitor and maintain the plethora of grants that are coming in to the Social Service Department. Go ahead, Cindy, if you want to.
Cindy, go ahead. Go ahead, Cindy.
I concur. It's a much needed position that's going to more than pay for itself in both grant acquisition and managing to a high level of quality that the town expects.
Mr. Mayor, I'll just say I appreciate their enthusiasm in pitching the position, but you already approved it. So I thank them, but this is the explanation as to what we are following up to show specifically what the job will do. So we thank you, and I think it is going to be appropriate. Cindy at the last meeting, I think, indicated state and federal grants account for, I think it was between $6 and $7 million of her budget. So it is critically important. Additionally, this individual will also sit on our review board for grants and applications that Kasha Perciello heads to assist others with their expertise for police or public works or any other grant funding that comes our way. And also she will, or he will, do other performance jobs for Cindy, and as she said in the past, really help to be a number two for her in that entire organization. So we hope that you approve this.
Any questions? Councilor Sakala, I just want to make, you know, you're good, okay? Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Souza,
4.
Councilor Ungary,
4.
Councilor Bosco,
4.
Councilor Sakala,
4.
Councilor Crisati,
4.
Councilor Hemler,
4.
Mayor Ludwig,
4.
Councilor Mangini,
4.
Councilor Muller,
4.
Councilor Riley,
4.
Councilor Safraza.
4.
11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Steve. Moving on to item J, under miscellaneous discussion resolution accepting donation from the Education Resources for Children. Whereas the Educational Resources for Children, Inc., also known as ERFC, wishes to donate 6 friendship bridges to the town of Enfield. And whereas the Rotary Club of Enfield has partnered with ERFC to oversee design and building of the friendship bridges. Whereas the concept of friendship the concept of Friendship Bridge has been incorporated and presented at our elementary schools in town. Whereas Boy Scout Troop 818 has built these bridges in their effort to volunteer, and whereas the Friendship Bridges will be placed at the following locations: Edgar Parkman Elementary School, Eli Whitney Elementary School, Enfield Street Elementary School, Hazardville Memorial Elementary School, Henry Barnard Elementary School, and Prudence Grant Elementary School. Whereas the Connecticut General Statute 7-148C 3A permits the town to accept gifts of personal property for municipal purposes, now therefore be it resolved, the town council accepts the donation of 6 friendship bridges from Educational Resources for Children, Inc., submitted on April 26, 2021 by the town manager's office.
So moved.
By Councilor Mangini, seconded by Councilor Muller. Chris, I mean, I could turn it over to Cindy, or you have any comments?
Yeah, I'll just say that this is really following procedure, that the town council is responsible and charged with determining the use of public facilities in our town properties. And part of that is to decide what goes on our town property and where. And so consistent with that, this was a request made, and Cindy will be able to explain the details.
Thank you. I just want to thank Deb McCarthy for doing a wonderful job with the resolution first, and second, Deb, for providing a little bit of a synopsis that I helped prepare with her. Pretty much this Friendship Bridge concept parallels the buddy benches and Enfield Rotary. I've got Joe and I've got Lori that are my Rotarians with me, has received a grant sufficient enough to purchase the lumber, to purchase all the materials, and we're fortunate that the Boy Scout troop has come forward to volunteer their expertise in building. And now it's just, a matter of getting them done and placed on the schools. And they're very attractive, and they're not big at all, but symbolic. And the symbol really is for an anti-bullying campaign. And without going into too much detail, it goes back to an individual back in the 80s who suffered domestic violence, and the family is bringing forward this person's memory by having the Friendship Bridge initially starting over at Barnard and then going forward to the other elementary schools. So I, encourage and appreciate this council and the town of Enfield supporting the concept. The project is underway, and as soon as it's complete, we will have a nice tour. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Councilor Riley.
I just want to say that when I saw this, I was super happy about it. And I can tell you, since I'm a Cub Master of Cub Scout Pack 818, and I work with the folks at Troop 818, that you are going to have some quality benches, and they're super excited.
What's the guarantee? What lifetime guarantee on these benches? 10, 15 years?
I'm saying a 20-year guarantee for sure.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? And will the photo, will that be on our website or is that something we can do, add it to our web? Why not?
Yeah, Deb was phenomenal, but I'm sure we'd be able to get that on the website.
Cool.
I'll definitely support this. This is great.
Councilor Muller. Okay,
Thank
anyone
you.
else? Thank you. All right, roll call, please, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Suzak,
4.
Councilor Ungary,
4.
Councilor Bosco, 4. Councilor Sakala,
4.
Councilor Crisati,
4.
Councilor Hemler,
4.
Mayor Ludwig,
4.
Councilor Mangini,
4.
Councilor Muller,
4.
Councilor Riley,
4.
Councilor Surprise.
4.
That's 11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. We move on to item K under miscellaneous. Discussion resolution extending license agreement for annex room usage. Whereas the license agreement between the town of Enfield and the Opera House Players, Inc., also known as OHIP, for rooms D222 and D220 in the Enfield Annex, 124 North Maple Street, will expire on June 1st, 2021. Whereas OHIP has requested that the term of the license agreement be extended for additional period to December 31st, 2021. Now therefore be it resolved, the Enfield Town Council authorized the town manager to sign the attached amendment to the license agreement submitted on April 22nd, 2021 by Kasia Persicello, our assistant town manager.
So moved.
By Councilor Muller. By Deputy Mayor Suzak. Turn over to Kasia. Kasia or Chris?
Yeah, Kasia, she's the liaison with the Opera House Players. She'll address this. I'll just tell you that council recently renewed their lease at High Street. They're still actively engaged in fundraising and looking forward to opening and utilizing that location for the benefit of Thompsonville and the entire town. But during the interim, 2 years ago in 2019, we allowed them to use 2 rooms at no charge over at the annex to store production items and also build some of their stage items. And they'd like to continue it for 6 months, but we do not charge them for this. We charge them for use of the annex for their productions. We look forward to their next production, hopefully coming soon. And with that, I'll turn it over to Kasia.
Good evening again. I think Chris really summed it up very well. They just use these rooms for storage of sets, costumes, anything they need for their productions. And the extension is only for 6 months that they request.
Hearing none, roll call, please, Sheila.
Deputy Mayor Suzak,
4.
Councilor Ungary,
4.
Councilor Bosco, 4. Councilor Sakala,
4.
Councilor Crisati,
4.
Counselor Hemler.
4.
Mayor Ludwig.
4.
Counselor Mangini.
4.
Counselor Muller.
4.
Counselor Riley.
4.
Counselor Safrazen.
4.
11 in favor, none against, and no abstentions.
Thank you, Sheila. We are done with miscellaneous. Move on to item 16, public communications. Would anyone like to speak? Come on up, Carolyn. Welcome. No worries. No worries. Take your time. Welcome. Just make sure the light's on. That's all. So there you go. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you. On 4/5, I did an FOI request to Town Manager Bromson, requesting the policies ensuring the town for the building at 33 North River Street. I did receive the Chubb pollution policy indicating scheduled location and the KERMA declaration of coverage, which indicates property coverage for scheduled locations and several liability risk exposures. This policy was incomplete and did not indicate the terms, exclusions, and conditions for each line of coverage supposedly insured. Both policies did not have the building scheduled. Based on what I received, I questioned at the town meeting on April 19, 2021, if the building was insured and why the cost of debris removal for $360,000 was on the town agenda. Mr. Bromson indicated the building was not insured and that Mr. Bromson indicated the building was not insured and that Mr. Wilcox had an email related to the debris removal that I could receive the next day. I did not receive the email the next day, and since I did not receive it for 4 work days and over the weekend, I did a FOIA to Mr. Wilcox on Monday, April 26th. On the 28th, I received an email from the town attorney stating that this information is denied based on Connecticut General Statutes, Section 1210, small b, 4. So, and that section talks about records pertaining to strategy and negotiations with respect to pending claims and pending litigation to which the public agency is a party until such litigation or claim has been finally adjudicated and otherwise settled. And all I'm asking for, since now I've been denied, is that when this claim is settled and litigated, if it's going to be litigated, is that I get notice from somebody on town council to tell me what we're receiving. I mean, these policies are no different than a homeowner's policy. It's a little more technical, but if you put a floater on for jewelry coverage, you're covered. If you put a floater on for your golf course, for your golf bags, you're covered. On these, the KERMA policy, because it's a pool, all you're getting is like a certificate of coverage, a front page saying that you got a declaration that you're covered on these coverages, but there's no terms, conditions, and exclusions. So I don't know if Mr. Wilcox had it, but I did not receive it. The KERMA, the Chubb policy has an exclusion for pollution, which I was concerned about because everything is scheduled on this, or what we call covered locations. And that's all I have to say. But thank you for your time. I feel like a bad penny sometimes.
Good seeing you. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Anyone else like to speak for the council? Going once? I declare public communications closed. Councilor communications. Any councilor has a communication? Any councilor? No? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, Councilor Mangini, seconded by Deputy Mayor Sudek. All those in favor, say aye. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone.